Hello, good evening and welcome back to TTTV. My name is Andy Campbell and tonight we are live with round number 8 of the TTFL season 4, and it is probably the hardest track on the calendar. It's the Marina Bay circuit. It is the Singapore Grand Prix, the first full race that F1 ever had, dating back into 2008 with that infamous race that Fernando Alonso won with a certain Nelson Piquet Jr. that had a crash on purpose. So that's obviously got that going for it. But this is maybe one of the hardest tracks in the season, in the calendar. You're talking 23 corners around this 3.146 mile circuit. It's just constant action. You're constantly on it, you're constantly pushing it, and you've just got to be so committed to what you're doing around this track. I'm just going to make sure the stream is working all good. Yes, it is. Fantastic. So I'll put a wee like on that, quickly share that out. I can't do two things at once, unfortunately. But qualifying's bound to be an interesting one. Although you can overtake around here, it is not an easy thing to do. It's very, very tricky. Qualifying will be quite important for drivers wanting to have a good race, so we will wait and see what goes on. Recon jumping in the chat, who is driving here tonight. Hello Recon, thank you very much for jumping in. Hope you have an enjoyable race tonight as we await drivers to come out of pit lane. You can see that we've obviously got the three softest compound of tyres available, which is the Hyper Softs, the chewing gum bubblegum pink, the purple ultra soft tyres, and the red super soft tyres. So those Hypers will not last very long around this circuit, that is for sure, so we'll need to keep an eye out on it. We got Wilco Spring in Ted I'll just call you Wilco, saying yeah, let's go in Maze with the usual checkered flag. I'm sure he's going to give me some details on the weather very shortly. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. It's not the red super soft, it's the yellow soft tyres. So that is going to be interesting. And with the weather being dry as well, Maze there in the chat let me know that is the case, then that is going to mean that there's no need to worry about change tyres. So it'll be interesting to see who goes on to the yellow marked soft tyres. You can see a few people are already taking change of that. We've not seen anyone out of pit lane yet. So that's an interesting one. That's usually drivers are out on track by now. It looks like there is a Mercedes though about to leave pit lane. You can see it, and there's a Force India as well. So there goes one of the Mercedes out of pit lane. That'll be Tejonas on the soft tyres. You can see a Force India heading out there, which I believe will be Uzi in the Force India. There's a Salvas. We're getting some drivers now onto track, so that is what we want to see. And there is to Jonas coming out of pit lane on those yellow marked soft tyres, so he's going for it straight away. There is Uzi. He's on the ultra soft, so he's in the middle compound of the two. You can see Sinclair there, who's won the last 3 races on the bounce as well, Austria, Germany and Belgium, so he is the man on form at the moment, and he is out there on those ultra softs as well. Recon has headed out onto the track with these hyper softs. God, I'm going to get mixed up so badly. And Fate Benfica SLB, no surprises for guessing which team he supports there. I'm going to stick with Fate because it's a lot quicker. He's in the McLaren, he's on his outlap on a set of ultra soft tyres, so good little mix out there already at this early stage as a few drivers come onto track for this 18-minute session. Be interesting to see who is going to take pole position here. Fastest lap in the race is a 1:41.9. done by Kevin Magnussen all the way back to this year past. I'm saying all the way back as if it's back in the distance, but there you go. So he's got the fastest lap in terms of a race lap. Obviously qualifying is a lot quicker than that, but this is a very tricky circuit, and it looks like this is the Mercedes is going to be the first driver to set a lap. He's coming through the final tricky section just now. You've got the Marine to the right hand side where they have a dock where you have like a big football pitch on it. You have concerts and everything there. My dad actually sat down there at that stand during this racing last year, a jammy so-and-so that he is. But anyway, let's concentrate on a lap of the circuit. We're going to jump on board with the Mercedes, and you can see he's coming through the final corner. Got it wrong through the final corner as well, sideways very quickly, but now heading down towards turn number 1, looking for the braking point, down to 4th gear, 85 miles an hour away, and turn 2 is easy enough, and then turn 3 down to 2nd gear. Just find the exit. Big tank slapper on the exit there though for the Mercedes as he heads towards turn number 4, and this is where we then have a long straight down Raffles Boulevard. Fate Benfica has already retired from the session, that's probably what the yellow flag was, but down here DRS open 190 miles an hour, look for the braking point, down to 3rd, 75 miles an hour, good speed through there, and then into this tricky little section down to about 50, 2nd gear, another tank slapper on exit. That Mercedes is not happy on those yellow marked tires, brushes the wall there through the left-hander and heading up towards where it used to be, the old Singapore sling. No longer, a lot easier now. 3rd gear around about 95 and then down to about 60 odds going through there across the Anderson Bridge. Very tricky braking point here. You're braking while you're still turning right and then trying to straighten it out, but Tejonas done very well there to get that one turned in. Down Anderson Boulevard. Not Anderson Boulevard, sorry, I've got it wrong, but anyway, down the boulevard into the right-hander, 65 miles an hour. We've got another yellow flag, that's in sector 3, hopefully just drivers stacking up, trying to get a bit of space, and then into this tricky section. Past the marina on the right, you've got the grandstand there to the left, you can see the Ferris wheel in the distance. Underneath the grandstand, through the final sector now, another couple of corners to go, a quick right, left, you've got to be careful on exit, you can very easily brush that wall and then keep it as far to the wall as you can, clip the apex there through the final corner, across the line, and Tejonas goes on to a 39.3, but look who's jumped into pole position up behind, that is Sinclair on the ultra soft tyres doing a 36.1. That's a phenomenal lap time there from the Sauber driver, and he is now 2 seconds clear of anyone else. Recon's put himself into 2nd place, but he's on those softest bubblegum hyper softs, 2 seconds down on Sinclair's time on the Ultra. So that is a phenomenal lap time there from the Sauber driver. Alan Kay has just popped his Ferrari there up into 3rd position, but on the Ultras 2.7 seconds down at the moment. Iuzi in 4th, 2.7 down as well, and Tejonas' lap on those soft tyres was 3.1 seconds down. Let's run our way through the field. Ferunki is still heading down the boulevard at the moment. Siege, who is the championship leader at this point in time in the Renault, puts himself into 2nd place, 1.4 seconds down on Sinclair, but that is a set of the hardest compound yellow tyres, so that is a very good lap there from your championship leader as he is heading now down to maybe try another lap. There is the other Mercedes of P. Ange. I'm just going to stick with Ange, he's still going through the lap. TTG Badgers put himself into 7th place, but that's probably a bit of a banker lap there on those soft tyres. Where is Frunky? Here he comes in the Haas through the final couple of corners now on the yellow soft tyres as well, the hardest compound, and he puts himself into 8th, but 9 seconds down, so no doubt made a mistake during that lap. I'm just looking to see who's next to head towards the line. It is going to be the other Sauber of TTG Bishi heading towards the line through final just now as he's heading underneath the grandstand slide. A bit too much on the inside, there needs to be careful it doesn't just do that too much, could end up with invalidation on the hypersofts, and he has gone up to 3rd place, but still 1.8 seconds down on the lap time, which is still from Sinclair. It shows you just how good a lap that was from Sinclair and the Sauber. Ange on the Ultra Softs has gone into 8th place with his Mercedes, so not too bad a lap, but big gap there, and it looks like between Siege has made a brilliant lap in my opinion, and he's just gone faster as well. He's just improved on that lap time, 2nd time by, so those soft tyres getting more temperature and grip in them the more laps that you do, so that is working well for him, and he is now only 1.1 seconds down with Sinclair having done his lap on the ultra softs, whereas Siege is on the soft, so that could be interesting. I'm sure Siege will be hoping he can get himself into the top 10 without having to do another lap, hopefully, and be sure he can have the alternate and probably more preferable strategy. The best strategy around here is either ultra soft to soft or soft to ultra soft. Those hypers will not last long at all. Yellow flag in sector 2, we have lost the Mercedes off, and we'll see if we can maybe pick up. The yellow flag's already disappeared, so not sure where that Mercedes... Oh, we got a Sauber there running slowly. He's just staying out of the way as Bishy. He's seen Siege coming, so that's nothing to really... there's the Mercedes. That's that tricky braking section at the Anderson Bridge. That's where he's lost it. Coming through there, as I say, you start braking and turning still to the right as you're going through, and then he ended up just losing the back end, and that car's on the track there. Another one staying slow to the inside is Badger, and just trying to avoid getting in the way of people here. That is Charlie coming on his outlap, staying, one of the Salba staying out of his way. Let's have a look at Maximus here in the Haas. He's coming through just towards the end of sector 1, start of sector 2, so he's still got a good wee bit to go on his lap just now. And it'll be interesting to see here, yellow flag in sector 3. We're going to see a lot of that during qualifying as cars try to find a bit of space on the track. I'm trying to just find my way through and see who's coming. Here we go, we've actually got Charlie heading towards the line now, so he's now going to set his first lap time. Where's it going to put him on the softs? Well, it's going to put him nowhere, because that was an invalidation by the looks of it, or he was on an outlap actually, so I was a bit too quick off the mark there. Meanwhile, his teammate, old man Barry, he's coming through, it looks like, just to start his first lap, definitely so, looking at that. So, yellow flag again in sector 3, as Maximus is coming through at the moment. Now, he is on a flying lap. That yellow flag in sector 3 again, where is it? It's up ahead, and is there a car in the way which could cause problems for Maximus, but it's away now, so no issues there for the Haas driver. Up to the final couple of corners on these soft tyres as well, runs it to the line, 8th place there for the Haas driver in the number 12, and that's not a bad lap time on those soft tyres. You can see there, best tyres at the moment. Most people on ultras or soft, a couple of them with Bishy and Recon having done their laps in the hyper softs, and at the moment out on track we have got a few other drivers now onto the hyper softs. So one of them is Sinclair, who's currently just coming across the Anderson Bridge just now into that bit where Ange crashed out in his Mercedes, so be interested to see if he's up on his time. He's coming towards the end of sector 2 just now, 26.3, not giving us the details of whether he's up or not at this point in time. We'll jump on board with the Sauber driver as he comes through into turn 16, through turn 17, past the grandstand on the left hand side, past the marina on the right, through turns 18 and 19, underneath the grandstand once again, back out into clean air, into turn 20. Take it as much far as you wide as you can towards that wall through 21 and into 22 and 23, completely throw in, little breather on the throttle through the first corner. Any improvement from Sinclair is a 34.3. that is a quick lap time on those hyper soft tyres, but will that put him at a disadvantage come the race itself, because he is going to obviously be on those tyres which are going to go away very, very quickly, so we'll need to keep an eye on that one. But that is a very quick lap time from the Sauber driver. I'll give you a quick run-in actually of the standings just now as we watch Frunky just coming through the start of his latest lap. Siege leads the championship on 100 points. Sinclair is in second on 93, helped by winning the last 3 races in a row. Honey is on 86 in third, but he's not here this evening, is the Honey Badger, so missing it out from him. Recon in fourth and 71, then there's a wee bit of a gap to Maze in fifth, who is on 42, and while I've been talking he's taken a set of hypersofts and stuck himself up into second place, so decent lap time there from Maze. He'll be looking for some more points as well. Gennaro is next up on 24 points, the Italian not here tonight. Then we've got TTG Badger, who is in the pits at the moment, he is on 22, and then we've got a tie for the 9th, 10th place, which is between Plaster and Charlie. They're on 21 points apiece. In the Constructors, well, the Renault driver that you're on board with, Siege and Mays, they lead the way on 147 points. McLaren are in second on 108. Sauber only one behind them on 107, gaining 75 points, obviously, with Sinclair's 3 wins recently as well. Red Bull next up on 81, Toro Rosso 72, Williams on 52, which was mainly Sinclair's 2 victories earlier on in the season before leaving the league. Haas on 46, Ferrari on 35, Force India 32, and Mercedes in a place you normally don't see them on a Constructors' Championship, certainly during the hybrid era, last on 18 points, so they'll be looking for a wee bit of changed fortunes as we go through. Frankie's just headed into pit lane, he's done 3 laps on those tyres, and that's currently his best time as well, but look at the field spread at the moment. 2.2 seconds is the gap between Sinclair and Mays. And that's both of them on Hypersofts as well. Siege's best lap on the softs, but he's currently out there at the moment on a set of Ultras, so he'll be hoping to improve on his time. In fact, there he is, we just seen him in the background there as we were watching, I believe, Old Man Barry heading through. So he's now into the final sector. Is Siege, can he improve on his lap time here? We've still not seen lap time from George Roberts. He is still in pit lane, and Fate Benfica crashed out as well, I believe. We've not seen that one on the stream, so not sure what happened to the McLaren, but he's the only other driver not to have set a lap, and he's not going to, unfortunately. Here comes Siege across the line, and he's up in the second place in those Ultras, 1.2 seconds down, so still in a decent lap time. He's the second driver to break the 1 minute 35 barrier. So that's a decent lap time on the Ultra Source. It's going to give him a bit of a strategic advantage against Sinclair. Meanwhile, Uzi's gone off in Sector 1 somewhere. Yellow flags have disappeared. Now got Charlie having retired as well from the session. So just follow Siege through there. No yellow flags at that point. And it was just behind as well. We now got a yellow flag in Sector 3 up ahead. We'll just see if we can see what's going on there. It's now disappeared. So maybe some... it's Charlie's crashed in pit lane. Oh my goodness. Seen that on TTL F1 the previous week in Belgium. I can't remember who it was that done it, but that was a crash in pit lane as well, and we've seen another one there from Charlie, so that's what's put him out of the session. He has crashed coming into that tricky pit lane. Mays has decided to retire from the session. There's yellow flags everywhere with 3 seconds still to go, and you can see the Sauber there, the Bishy going slowly across the Anderson Bridge. Let's just see if we can find some of these yellow flags. They're actually just behind, I think, there. From the McLaren. Let's just see, yeah, all disappeared now, so everything's back to how it was, but a raft there of DNFs and retirements during the session, and the one we did see happen, well, not see it, we've seen the results of it, was Charlie crashing into the wall, coming into that tricky pit lane. Will someone fall for that during the race? It'll be interesting to see if that is the case. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, you've got here one of the Haas drivers coming through here to finish a lap. Yellow flag sector 3 is for that Sauber staying out of the way, and the Haas driver coming through is going to be Maximus, as George Roberts decides he doesn't fancy setting a lap time at all. Maximus will surely be heading for pit lane, or he's just lining up for a lap actually, so we'll just skip away from him. Jonas is just lining up. He's now coming on to the ultra soft tyres as well. Alan Kay up in 4th at the moment. He's on the hyper soft tyres now, having set his best lap on the ultra, so he's going to try and see if he can find some additional speed and time out of that scarlet red Ferrari. You can see there, fitted tyres are quite a few rafts of hypers, mainly ultras, but you look at the best, it's a mix, and towards the back end of the top 10 it is mainly the yellow soft tyres that you can see. Just trying to run through the field real quickly, see where we are. Wrong bit. Sinclair's back out on track. He's stuck another set of those bubblegum pink hyper soft tyres onto it. There may be a hubba-baloo, and if you're old enough to remember that, then you're old enough to be the same age as me, so we'll leave that one well alone. Here comes Sinclair, 34-3 at the moment, and he looks like he's going for it. He's got everything turned up, he's got the stickiest, softest tyres on, and we'll keep an eye and see what he can do through this lap as he heads into turn 1, finds the braking zone. 96 miles an hour, the lowest speed that we've seen there as he comes through turns 3, heading up towards through turn 4 and into turn 5 here, the right-hander. It takes you on to Raffles Boulevard. DRS now wide open on that Sauber. Through the kink of turn 6, we jump on board and then heading up towards turn number 7, hard on the brakes, clipping the inside curve, running it across the extra curve, nicely done. Into turn number 8 we go there, just missing the walls nicely on the outside. Into turn 9, slings it in there, throws it in, actually plenty of speed through there from the Sauber, up towards turn number 9 where the old Singapore sling was, and then into turns 10, 11 and onto the Anderson Bridge. Jonas has dropped out of the session, having just put himself up in the 4th place, as well as the checkered flag comes out to complete the qualifying session. So we have Sinclair on a lap, Alan Kay's out there at the moment, so is Recon, Maximus, Badger, Frunky is out there as well, so we've got a few drivers out on track, but we're keeping an eye. That was a Red Bull you seen there. Frunky's just put himself up into 4th place with a good lap time on the Ultras, and that Red Bull's got wing damage, and Sinclair is coming up behind him, but the Red Bull has realised, so there goes Sinclair through. Yellow flag in sector 3 is because of that Red Bull. It is Recon minus his front wing, so he's had something happen there during that lap. Here goes Sinclair, 34.3 to beat. He goes into the 33s with a 33.6, nearly 2 seconds clear of anyone else. A phenomenal lap time there from the Sauber driver. Meanwhile, next one up, coming towards the end of his lap, is Badger in the McLaren. Only 2 drivers left on track along with Alan Kay. Where is the Ferrari? He's still coming down the Esplanade drive at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on Badger. Then Maximus. Alan will be the last one across the line, and can Badger get himself up into the top 10 on the soft tyres? On the ultra soft tyres, he goes across the line, stays in 10th position though, so no improvement there from him. Meanwhile, Maximus now has came into pit lane, so he's not happy with that. He's in 9th. He's not going to be any worries there, because he'll start on those soft tyres and he'll be the only one to do so. And here comes Alan Kay across the line. Any improvement on 6th place from the Ferrari? I think he didn't quite catch it there as it skipped the screen, but I think he has managed it. It'll be interesting to see what goes on in just a moment, but we do know that it is Sinclair with a blistering lap time that is on pole position, and we'll just wait and see here as it loads up and give you the full rundown of the order. And there it is Sinclair on pole position with the Hypersofts, a 1:33.660 from his championship rival Siege in second. On the Ultrasofts, 1.9 seconds down though. Phenomenal lap time from the Sauber. Mays gets himself up in the top 3 on the Hypersofts, a 1:36.662. Alan Kay got himself into 4th place there with a 36.6 as well. Frunky on the Ultras in 5th, and then we've got Jonas in the Ultras in 6th. Bishy on the Hypers in 7th, along with Recon in 8th, who's just been mentioning in the chat there that his wheel disconnected during that lap, so that's how he ended up with damage. Maximus 9th, Badger in 10th, and the rest of them obviously outside the top 10. Didn't get enough time going through because I was too busy reading all the comments and everything there. So we can see Charlie a bit annoyed with a crash, so he wasn't too happy at that. Recon, there it is, this wheel disconnected on last lap, although Wilco doesn't believe him. How dare you, Wilco? Recon is an honourable man, how dare you? But these things happen, it's just how it goes. But still ends up with a top 10. So it's going to be an interesting race this. We've got obviously probably one of the longest races of the season. I'm trying to remember how many laps it is. I think it's 31 laps or something, but we'll find out in just a moment's time as they're about to go on to the formation lap. We'll see what goes on in just a minute's time. I'm actually in the process of trying to draw the track, so I can take note of the track numbers, because there's just too blooming many of them to keep an eye on everything. But there you go, technology, who'd have it? There you are. 10, 11, 12, 13. Just waiting on everybody readying up, and there we go. So the drivers are on the grid. 17 car for the evening's proceedings as they head out onto their formation lap. Obviously your top 10 running the tyres they qualified on, so a good mix of hypers and ultras in there, with Maximus on the soft. He could be one to watch later on in the race if you can keep it pointing in the right direction. Yuzi and Oman Barry were 11th and 12th. They're on the soft tyres. Then you've got Charlie, Ange, Plaster, Fate Benfica and George Roberts all on the ultra soft tyres down towards the back of the field. So Sinclair here, though, the pole sitter, looking to make it 4 in a row here tonight, and that would give him a chance to possibly jump into the lead of the championship, maybe, depending on what that man behind him, Siege, can do. And in terms of qualifying pace, at least Sinclair's got nearly a 2-second advantage, but will that convert into race pace? It'll be interesting to see what goes on during the race, and we will keep you up to date. Don't go anywhere, because we are about to go live with round number 8 of TTFL season number 4. It's the Singapore Grand Prix, and don't forget, all events here on TTTV TTFL are brought to you by Weak Wi-Fi Solutions. Make sure to check them out if you're having any problems with your Wi-Fi connection. I should probably have done the same thing myself a few months prior. Also, we'll see who picks up the A-Logo Fastest Lap Award. We'll like to bring you that before the end of the race. Who will be the Weak Wi-Fi Solutions Driver of the Day Award? That one, you'll need to keep an eye on Twitter at TTFL_F1 to find out that, because that is a driver vote done after the race. So awards up for grabs for everybody as they come towards the end of the formation lap. And we've got 31 laps ahead of us here this evening, and it is Sinclair who's on pole position, Siege in second place right behind him, and they're the two closest in the championship as well. And will those hypers, can Sinclair get himself a good enough gap before the pit stop phase starts to kick in? Because he is on those hyper soft. Siege to the right of him there in the Renault is on the ultra softs. You then got Maze and Alan Kay on row 2 on the hypers, Frunky and Tejonas on the ultras in row 3 as we get ready to start the Singapore Grand Prix. The lights are coming on. 4 lights, 5 lights. Round 8 is underway in Singapore. Let's have a look and see who gets a good start. Looks like it's a decent start from Sinclair. Siege is going to follow him into turn 1. And look at the Haas of Frunky round the outside there on both Alan Kay and Maze, trying to make a sneaky move through and jump up a number of places early doors into the race. But Maze holds off for now. But Frunky has got the place done on him. Now he's going to look up the inside. He has got the move done on Alan Kay though. Maze holds on to that position for now. So it's Sinclair, Siege, Maze, Frunky, Alan Kay. Look at this gaggle of cars coming down Raffles Boulevard towards turn number 7 for the first time, and Frunky's put it up the inside there. Maze is battling back though as they come into the next corner. Tejonas has sneaked through as well. Alan Kay's going backwards in a hurry because there's Recon passing him as well, and you can see a raft of cars making passes behind. Maximus and Badger fighting. The two Toro Rossos are fighting as well, but Maze holds on to third place at the moment. But these guys from Maze down are already 2 seconds and more off the lead as they come across Anderson Bridge for the oh, the Haas has hit the wall. Surely going to be damage to the front wing. It's not visible on camera at this point. We'll see if we get a change, but that was a mistake there from the Haas, and surely going to be pit lane on the end of this lap as Tejonas goes up the inside. Alan Kay's been fighting with Bishy and Recon behind. There is the Red Bull on those hyper soft tyres, and it moves going on through the field. But has the Haas got damage to either the wing or the suspension? Because that was a hefty hit onto the wall coming across the Anderson Bridge, and that Red Bull is pretty much glued to the gearbox of that Haas coming through the tricky section here at the end of sector 3 on 18 and 19 through to 20. We'll just see if he pulls in for pit lane. He's going to carry on and do another lap, but Sinclair leads, and he's nearly got himself out of DRS range at this early stage. Maze now has got a little bit of a gap behind to the others as Plaster has managed to get through. We've got a car going backwards. It's actually Yuzi heading for pit lane, so maybe damage there. We've got a Mercedes coming in as well, which is Ange, so 2 drivers into pits, and Charlie in the Toro Rosso. So I wonder if there's been a wee bit of contact between those guys down the field, trying to bring it back up towards the front end, and that Red Bull still trying to chase down Frunky's Haas, but Looks like the Haas has got away with it. No major damage by the looks of it, and still able to carry on at this point. Siege is a second behind Sinclair now, so that means that he's going to be out of DRS range when it becomes enabled at the end of the next lap. You get 2 doses off it, of course, remember. One down the front straight into turn 1, and then one coming out of turn 5 down Raffles Boulevard towards turn number 7. But Recon trying to see what he can do on the Haas ahead. Be hoping his wheel doesn't disconnect the second time on him this evening. Meanwhile, a bit further down, Alan Kay is trying to keep Bishy at bay. He's doing so at the moment, but he's dropped a bit off the back of Recon ahead, about a second now, and that's not going to be good for him. Meanwhile, the McLaren of Fate Benfica sneaks one up the inside of Plaster, coming off the Anderson Bridge through turn 13. There's a little bit of bumping going through there, so it'll be interesting to see if it was as clean as it could have been, but that is the McLaren through on the Ferrari. And is that Ferrari struggling, or was it just Plaster making a mistake through there? Either way, old man Barry is all over the gearbox of the Ferrari. Barry and Ferrari, there'd be a good mix. Hey, we'll try to get that one done for season 5. Meanwhile, Recon trying once again to get onto the back of Franky's Haas. Sinclair set the fastest lap of the race. We get a yellow flag in sector 3. Let's see if we can see what's going on. It was just there ahead, and it is a McLaren, and it is Fate Benfica heading for pit lane, so possible damage then to the McLaren. That's not going to help. Oh yes, George Roberts is missing his front wing as well, so I wonder if those two have had a coming together that's caused their problems there. Meanwhile, because I've been trying to figure what's going on there, Recon has sneaked his way past Frankie and up into 5th place as George Roberts decides enough is enough and retires in pit lane to make it our first DNF of the evening's proceedings. Sinclair though 2.2 seconds clear from Siege and Mace, so it's Salba, Renault at the moment in the podium positions. To Jonas, and the Mercedes is catching up to the back of Maze though, and could be lining up a move very shortly if he can get a good run through here at turn 11 and 12 and a nice braking move into turn 13 across the Anderson Bridge there. You can maybe get a slipstream run down towards turn 14. Now onto the Esplanade Drive to head powering down to turn 14 for the 3rd time in 31 times that they'll be doing it here this evening. And to Jonas late on the brakes there, but no way through at the moment. Meanwhile, Alan Kay is trying to have a wee sneak up the inside of the Haas of Frankie. They're going to go side by side, and the Ferrari has got the move done. Nice move there by the Irishman, and he is now up into 6th place. Good move there for him. Meanwhile, Frankie's going backwards at a vast. Oh, he's crashed! He's crashed there, coming out of turn 17 into the wall, and surely you've got to think there's going to be damage to that Haas finally now. His teammate Maximus goes through. Yes, right hand side wing damage to the Haas, and that's going to mean an early pit stop that he would not have been wanting to have, and that's going to drop him down the field. But that's the second big hit he's done on the wall, and I'm surprised if we just catch the end there to Jonas getting through on Maze into turn 1. That would have been a slight DRS assist as well, although the Mercedes getting another huge tank slapper coming out of turn number 3 heading towards 4 and 5. Meanwhile, Recon now is lining up the back of Maze, but Maze has got the DRS to help him as well through the kink of turn 6. Mate, Recon's going to go to the outside line. We cut back to the long shot into turn 7, and that Red Bull is through, and Maze loses 2 places in the space of 1 lap. Meanwhile, old man Barry is sneaking up the inside of Plaster there just before getting on to Raffles Boulevard, and he's got DRS to assist him in getting away, so that's going to help him. Uzi and Ange now just going past Frankie, who's just coming out of pit lane there in the background. So the Haas has made its first pit stop of the race, but it was a lot earlier than what he wanted to do. As to Jonas, Recon and Maze coming across Anderson Bridge down the Esplanade Drive for the 4th time in this race. I'm going to just calm down a little bit now that the field is starting to just spread out a little bit in places, although Yuzi and Ange are giving us something to look at here, because these two are switchbacking left, right and centre in each other. And Force India now is going to try and switch back through turn number 7, heading down towards turn 8, the old Singapore sling. Can he get a lot up the inside enough? He can. A little bump across the curb, but now the Mercedes is up the inside here as they head to the Anderson Bridge. Who's up the inside there? Through goes the Force India. Good drive in there, and not normally an overtaking place, but he's managed to get the move done. But Ange is going to try and slipstream back, but he's nearly out of battery, so it's going to be a late lunge if he's going to try that one. Meanwhile, someone's gone backwards. It's Maze actually in pit lane, and I think Bishy, yes, Bishy's sideways coming into pit lane as well. Wing damage already to that car, so he's lost it and that's not going to help him in any way, shape or form, but at least he's there at the pit entry, and you only lose a little bit of time, but you will need a wing change. There was damage to that front wing, that drops him down the field. We'll see where they come out in retrospective in just a moment's time. Mays going on to the ultra soft tyres. So that's an interesting one. That's a long way to go on a set of ultra soft tyres. It maybe make me think a two-stopper for the Renault for this one here. Meanwhile, Ange and Uzi are still fighting each other to come through. Ange picks up a 3-second time penalty for the troubles to go with it, but Uzi has lost that place there. Fate Benfica comes through. Charlie's just past Bishy, who's just coming out of pit lane now. So Mays is rejoined in the top 10. So that's going to be helpful for him. It means he's the highest runner that has made a pit stop at this stage. Ange, Uzi, Frunky, Fate Benfica, Charlie and Bishy have all made a stop as well, so they're all on to it. But Bishy, Uzi, Ange and Mays on ultra sauce, I think that's just a long way to go on those tyres. Obviously a couple of them had to come in for repairs early doors at the end of lap 1, lap 2, so it's obviously compromised the strategy straight away for them. But Mays didn't have that issue there, so I wonder if he just feels 2 stops quicker around here maybe. It is a long way to go though on the ultra soft tyres. You're talking around about 25 laps there. It's going to be a long time there to get them to the end of the race. Meanwhile Uzi had a poor run out of the Anderson Bridge coming down the Esplanade Drive, and if Haas of Frunky is going to try and go a long way round on those soft tyres, unable to do so. Meanwhile Recon is into pit lane, as is Maximus for a change of tyres, and they're putting the soft tyres on as Easy has to battle. He's clocked the wall there. That's going to possibly be damage to the car. You've seen a bit of carbon fibre. Frunky gets through and up into position, but that was a mistake there from Uzi as he's clipped the wall, and I wonder if that means damage to that Force India. So he's going to carry on though. He's not coming into pit lane, so he's going to keep going. But Sinclair on to his 6th lap of the race, and you got to remember he's done qualifying on these tyres as well, and he's still pulling clear. He's now 6.5 seconds clear of Siege, on for a 4-peat here tonight, and at the moment looking very nice out there. We thought he was going to get his first victory in China, and obviously he spun under the safety car, if you remember watching that earlier on in the season. Oh, and Uzi's in the wall in the background, coming on to Raffles Boulevard. Big mistake there from the Force India. Everybody's going to get round, but you'll just see here as we come on board with Bishy, there is the Force India in the wall. Thankfully it ghosts there. That could bring out a safety car, and that could flurry up some pit stops. We'll need to wait and see. The leader is heading for pit lane though, so if it does bring a safety car, that would be absolute pinpoint accuracy for him to come in. And Siege is coming in as well. Even though he's on the ultras, he's decided to follow the race leader into pit lane, so the top 2 are into the pits. That's going to put Tejonas into the lead of the race, so he moves up into the lead. Alan Kay is going to carry on as well on the Hypersauce. We know he's good on those tyres, and both Sinclair and Siege have gone on to a set of softs, so that's going to be hopefully to the end of the race. As Frunky and Ange are having a fight there over the final points paying position, and the Haas once again is through and made a place as Plaster comes into pit lane, so Mays moves up another place. Old man Barry has got out ahead of Siege, so Siege is still going to be ahead of his teammate, but Sinclair's still in 3rd place, and that is very good for the Sauber driver. He's came out only behind Alan Kay and Tejonas. That is going to work out very nicely for him. 15 seconds off the lead. The top 2 are still to pit at this moment, and that's going to work out very nicely for him once we get on to the later point of the race. He's also got the fastest lap of the race as well at the moment, well 1:39.8. He's the only driver into the 1:39. So again, amazing lap time pace here from Sinclair at the moment, as he's just working his way through the field and through the laps very well indeed. So coming up to lap 7 now. God, I feel like I've been doing this for about an hour already. It's gone in so much action already, but that's the thing with Singapore. Oh, that Mercedes just hit the wall. That was Ange clipping the wall. It's going to give the Haas of Maximus the chance to go through up into the old Singapore sling. He gets the move done and then doesn't get the move done, and he's going to have to try again coming across the Anderson Bridge. It looks like he's got a lot more pace at the moment. Just needs to be patient with the Mercedes ignore the lag on the screen because I'm sure that's not exactly what these guys are seeing. And an easy run out there, and Haas is going to get the move done, you'd think, down at the bottom of the Esplanade Drive into turn number 14, round the outside. They're going to go side by side, little touch of the wheels there, but the Haas has got the move done. Alan Kay is into the pits. The Ferrari mechanics give him a very quick service, a set of soft tyres onto that scarlet red car, and he is underway again. That releases Sinclair back up into second place now, but Tejonas on the ultra softs is still running 14.5 seconds clear. Now it is a pretty long pit lane, you're going to be talking around about 23 to 26 seconds, so if Tejonas was to pit now, he could come out just ahead of Mays possibly at the moment, who's already made a pit stop and into pit lane, possibly damage to that Mercedes, so keeping the Mercedes mechanics busy. Benfica's back into pit lane as well, so that is another stop for the McLaren driver, I do believe also. But when does Tejonas come in? And I will be interested to see where he comes back out, because at the moment Badger and Old Man Barry haven't stopped either, so he could find himself in a net third place at the end of this if he can get the right time for this. I'm just trying to work it out. Mays is 24.7 off him at the moment. It'd be touch and go, I think, but it'll be interesting to see when it happens. Sinclair's obviously going to retake the lead of the race. Badger and Old Man Barry are still to pit, and Tejonas is going to take another lap, so we're going to see one more lap at least with the Mercedes in the lead of the race. And I'll just work our way through the orders. Closest one on the track is these two. It's Mays, funnily enough, behind Old Man Barry. Now he wants to get past that Toro Rosso ASAP to get that move done, because if he doesn't do it then he's going to lose time and possibly have Tejonas ahead of him, of course, which is the fight at the moment for the podium. You can see Siege ahead is about to be lining up Badger, so we come into turn 1 here with Mays, but he has to back out of that one. Old Man Barry's got the line covered, but Siege is going to get a better traction run out of turn 3 into turn 4 around the outside of turn 5. I don't think Badger fought that one too hard, and Siege is going to get the DRS down. Across that line there, across the race line. He's picking the wrong side there, but much better grip out of turn, and he's going to get the move done now and into turn number 8, and that is a move done for Mays, so good stuff there, gets him up into 5th place. His next target is Badger there in the McLaren, who's just been passed by his teammate Siege, so the Renault's running very strongly here in Singapore. But where is Tejonas? He's coming towards the end of the lap. Now I want to see, when does the Mercedes pit? That's what I'm looking for. They've been busy enough already. 2 stops for their teammate Ange already with damage and stuff, so they've had plenty of practice. Can they turn that 81 around in double quick time? Well, at the moment they're going to be waiting another lap to do so, because he's going to carry on and do one more. The gap to Mays is the one I'm watching, and it's still 24.8 seconds as well, so be interesting to see how that one ends up. Meanwhile, Sinclair is just running his race at the moment as he crosses the line on a 39.9 on that lap time. Not far off his fastest lap of the race either, so good stuff there from him. And if we just have a look at the standings at the moment, the biggest gainers are Badger and Old Man Barry, having made up 6 places, but those guys have not pitted yet, up there in 4th and 6th. Excuse me. The biggest loser is Bishy in 12th, who has lost 5 places from his starting position, and the other Salba just clipping the wall there as well, by the looks of it. He's going to have plaster for company very, very shortly indeed. He's running really close to those walls. I've heard a wall riding, but that's taking the mick. Meanwhile, Mays has catched up to the back of Badger's McLaren, so another one that he needs to dispatch as quickly as he can to avoid losing too much time in the battle for the podium with Tejonas. So it'll be interesting to see if he fancies a move here. Not normally much of an overtaking spot down into turn number 10. He's going to wait here through 11 and 12. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. And it's the Salba of Bishy facing the wrong way again. This time though, he's still on the track, trying to get it going. He's going to light the tyres up and spin that car around. He's got no one else behind him, but Don't know what's happened there. He was plaster coming up. I don't know if Bishy's lost it on his own or if there's been contact, but the Sauber round for the second time tonight, having done that earlier on while coming into pit lane as well. So Mays though right on the back of Badger. Those Ultrasofts must be going off on that McLaren because they've done 9 laps now, but it makes you think though with Mays, he's just put them on 5 laps ago. Surely he's going to be in a 2-stop window if that McLaren's already struggling, and indeed McLaren pulls into pit lane, so that is that out the way. Meanwhile Recon is coming onto the back of Old Man Barry, who's on the soft tyres, so he'll be going a bit longer than Badger is. Meanwhile he's trying to weave across the track a little bit. Recon dives up the inside, goes the Dutchman, and Dutchman in a Red Bull making an overtaking move. Where have I heard that one before? Nicely done, late in the brakes, much better grip from the fresher tyres, back up into 5th position. Meanwhile, looking down the field, Bishy is still struggling because he's just been overtaken now by Ange and Fate Benfica, with Fate Benfica trying to go the long way round at the end of the Esplanade Drive. Can he get the move done? No, he cannot. Old Man Barry's retired from the race. What has happened to Old Man Barry? The yellow flag out in Sector 2. He had just been passed by Recon, and it's further back there, the yellow flag, so I'm just going to quickly scroll through, see if we can see what's happened as his teammate Charlie's about to come through. Where is the Toro Rosso? I can't see it anywhere on the track, so it's already been cleared, but something has happened to Old Man Barry, and that's him out. And Bishy's retired from the session as well. A horrible night now finally put to rest, and it is now four retirements from the race, because Uzi's out as well, having retired in pit lane, having had issues earlier on too. So 4 retirements. We've still got 13 runners, and before long, if there's a couple of more retirements, everybody will score points if they get to the end of the race. Meanwhile, Tejoris has finally came into pit lane, lap number 12. He gets rid of those Ultrasofts. Very quick stop there from the Mercedes mechanics, but I do think Mays is going to get the well, maybe not actually. Tejoris is coming down pit lane, Mays is coming through the final corner. Where is the end of pit lane? There it is. Where is Mays? Here he comes, and he's going to get it done just into turn number 1, so the Mercedes is still behind the Renault. I thought for a minute he might get the move done, but Mays managed to get through the traffic, and he's managed to get through. Now Recon's going to challenge him while he tries to get those soft tyres up to temperature. The hardest compound here tonight in the humid side. Oh, contact between the two of them there. That could cause wing damage to the Red Bull. We'll come off and see if we can spot anything. Nothing noticeable on camera. Recon to the inside line into turn number 7. Tejonis is going to try and hang it around the outside. Off the track slightly there. The Red Bull's through, but a late on the brakes move from the Mercedes. A little bit of a wheel bang between the two of them, but the Red Bull has got the move done, and he has moved up into 4th place. Meanwhile, Frankie going around the outside there of Alan Kay, trying to defend that, and Alan Kay now finds himself in a Haas sandwich. Say that wrong, and that could sound very, very terrible, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because Alan Kay's got the freshest tyres, trying to come through the field, but these two Haas boys are giving him a lot of issues and a lot of hassle coming into the old Singapore sling. The Ferrari holds off at the moment, but across the Anderson Bridge, and a Haas sandwich for the Ferrari, but fresher tyres, and maybe he's going to get the move done before much longer. Further up the field though, Tejonis is still trying to catch up to Recon on his fresh tyres. They'll not long to be up to temperature now, and the Ferrari Alan Kay still trying to hold off Maximus at this point in time on those soft tyres. Coming through to the final part of the lap. Oh, Frankie's made a mistake though. That's allowed Alan Kay through. That was like Christmas. Thank you very much, I'll have that. The Ferrari is now up in the 6th place, so a mistake there from Frankie. His teammates got past him as well into the bargain. Meanwhile, Tejonis up fighting with Recon. Those tyres will now be into a much better operating window now that they've had a lap out on the track. But you can see these guys 20 odd seconds down. Sinclair's back in the lead of the race. He's got 11.8 seconds roughly to Siege behind, as Maximus goes a long way. I was trying to get to them and I was clicking onto the wrong point there. Maximus gets by through turns 1, 2 and 3 on Alan Kay, but
Alan Kay is now going to have DRS to assist him down the Raffles Boulevard towards turn number 7. Which way is Maximus going to go? To Ferrari's going to go to the inside line here for turn number 7. Late on the brakes, a little bit of push there, and Frankie goes, thank you very much, I'm going to make it 3 wide into turn number 8, which is definitely not a recommended option there, but Alan Kay holds on, and Maximus this time is the one to lose out in the battle between the two Haas drivers and the Ferrari. In fact, where is Frankie gone? Oh, he's hit the wall. That's another contact with the wall. Is there any damage visible on the Haas's front wing? Let's have a look as he comes through here. Looks all in order, so he's got away with that one, and that's not the first time he's thumped the wall either tonight. We'll keep an eye on how that battle develops as they go through the lap, but meanwhile back up towards the further forward, Jonas in the Mercedes is keeping Recon very honest indeed, and we're just approaching halfway distance now. It's been an absolute frantic Singapore Grand Prix so far, plenty of battles through the field, but at the moment Sinclair is looking pretty out in front. He's got 12.5 seconds now over Siege in second, who's pretty much lonely in the middle of no man's land. So he's got 12 seconds to Sinclair and 11 seconds to his teammate behind Mays in third. Then you've got this battle between Recon and Tejonas in the Mercedes there, which has looked a little bit leery at times in certain points, and these guys are catching up to Mays, so that Renault won't want to be hanging around for too much longer. We'll see if the Mercedes fancies making a move here into turn 7. The Red Bull goes defensive, going to need to go the long way round. Oh, he swooped right round. Can he get the move done? He's now got the inside line for turn number 8, and that is a lovely little move there from the Mercedes, and he is through up into 4th place. Nice little bit of driving there from the Norwegian. The Dutchman Recon playing it well though, gave him space, and the Mercedes makes a brilliant overtaking move there to put himself up into 4th place. Meanwhile, Maximus is still challenging onto the back of Alan Kay's Ferrari. Where is Frankie? He's 2.5 seconds back now, so he's dropped off the pace of these guys further forward, so these guys can now concentrate on battling each other. Recon will fancy his chances of trying to get his place back on to Jonas before long, but now the Mercedes has got the fresher tyres. 6 laps is the difference, and you know, now that it'll be up to temperature, you would feel maybe he can try and pull away a little bit, but it's not going to be long before they catch up to Mays, who's just only 2 seconds up the road from them, so that will be something that could make it very interesting indeed. Lap 15 of 31, we're at halfway distance, and I feel like I've done a full Grand Prix stint already, but yet we're only halfway through, and that's what happens when you're here at Marina Bay. It's one of the most difficult tracks in the calendar. Normal in real life, obviously hot and humid conditions, night racing, but there's so many corners with 23 in total. As you see, Frankie hitting the wall there, coming out at 21, and Maximus looking like he's going to have a chance to try and make a move on Alan Kay. He's not going to try and dive bomb down into the inside in turn 1, thought about it, backs out for the meantime, and Alan Kay holds on to the place at the moment. Recon is slowly dropping off the back of Tejonas in 4th place. He's now out of DRS, so this is the closest battle on the track, and Alan Kay's thumped the wall there. That's a mistake from the Irishman. That's going to open the door easily for Maximus, who's got DRS to help him down Raffles Boulevard, but the Ferrari excuse me, still fighting there to try and keep by, but Maximus gets the move done there, and a mistake from Alan Kay. Is there any damage to that Ferrari? We'll just wait and see for a wee moment. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's got away with that. Just give me a wee second. I need a juice there because my throat's gone dry. So here we are then, Alan Kay. Hopefully he's not got any damage to that Ferrari. He's on for a decent little result at the moment. He's lost 3 places from his starting point. He did qualify on a Hypersauce, remember. He is usually very good with the tyres. We've got a yellow flag somewhere in Sector 1, but not sure who that is. So nothing to worry about. Possibly Sinclair getting past a lapped car, which is Angie's Mercedes just there. And you can see Siege catching up to the back of Fate Benfica coming down Raffles Boulevard, and McLaren stays well out of the way and lets him through. Tejonas though, he's got himself onto the back of Mays and then DRS range as well. Oh, excuse me. And you can see that Mercedes though is pretty leery coming out of corners. We've seen it in qualifying, we've done the hot lap on board with the Mercedes. He's going to launch one up the inside. That's a late braking move. Oh, that was very late. And that was from about as far back as you go. You might as well have sent that one from Indonesia, never mind Singapore. Mays is going to fight it as much as he can, but Jonas is through and up into the final podium position. But I get the feeling Mays won't be too chuffed at that. That was a very, very late move there from the Mercedes driver. It caused a bit of contact as well. That could be looked at later on. And all that's done is put Recon now onto the back of Mays as they come across Anderson Bridge. Recon's gone up the inside. That's late as well. And I'm sorry to say, Recon, that was just not on. That move was never on there, and there's damage to that Red Bull's front wing as well, I'm sure, on the right hand side. Yes, there is. And, well, Recon trying to keep up with Jonas, getting a bit leery there up the inside of Mays, and the move was not really on. It was quite a way back from that camera angle. We did a phenomenal camera angle point there overhead, and we can see it very clearly as Ange goes round the outside of Plaster. That is over 11th place, but they are a good 40 seconds off a Badger in 10th place. So Recon will surely be heading for pit lane in a moment's time, and I'm getting the feeling they might put a set of ultra softs on it now just to get him towards the end of the race. Frunky's still trying to get his way past Alan Kay. Maximus obviously got ahead of Ferrari and is now pulling away a little bit out of DRS range as well as Recon pits. So it's going to put Maximus up in the 6th, Alan into 7th, and Frunky up until 8th place with the Red Bull driver pitting. And there we go. And then Recon has gone for the ultra soft tyres, and I think we'll ignore that camera angle because we all know what this game's like sometimes. And that is Recon underway. He'll come back out in 8th place because Charlie is 34 seconds down, only just coming through the final corner now. So Recon will hold on to that place there, but he's now 15 seconds behind the nearest car. That gave Mays a bit of a respite though, because now he no longer has a Dutchman and a Red Bull behind him, so he can concentrate on going forward. But Frunky tries to go up the inside, the outside, and any way side he can find on Alan Kay. Coming up towards turn number 8, he gets the move done. Yes, he does, sneaks it up the inside there, and he is through into 6th position. These guys have been having a fight for a number of laps now, and the Haas driver running a bit wide there. That's going to put him in not good optimal position there as we head towards the Anderson Bridge. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. Does Alan Kay fancy a move? No. Oh, he's going to actually, because Frunky's made a mistake under braking, and Alan Case goes, thank you very much, I'll have that place back. Meanwhile, Charlie and Badger are having a battle, and Badger has just sneaked through on the Toro Rosso as well. Badger got much fresher tyres than the Toro Rosso. It says he's got ultra softs on that Toro Rosso, but you can see it's softs from the standings at the side. He's been on them for 15 laps as well, so a long time. Mays, there we go. I did think that would be the case. The Renault in for a second stop. Plaster's just DRS'd his way down Raffles Boulevard into turn 7 and passed on the Mercedes off Ange. So let's see what Mays puts on now. Be another set of ultra softs. Yeah, not surprised there at that one. Ultra soft to ultra softs, and there's a Haas in the pits as well, and that is Maximus for his second stop. So we're now seeing a second lot of pit stops now, and that's put Alan Kay now up into 4th place. Frunky still behind him in 5th. Mays is going to come out in 6th, but he's just crossed the white line there and made a bit of an error. That will give him a warning, so that could come back to bite him later on, but he rejoins in 6th. He's now in a fresh set of ultra soft tyres. Not seen the leaders very much though, especially this man, Sinclair, leading the race by 18 seconds as Frunky, just as I was trying to get there again, up the inside into turn 7 using the DRS. He's got the move done, but again, just getting later on the brakes in some points. It's just going to allow Alan Kay to get back through, but Sinclair 18 seconds clear of Siege, who's got 18 seconds over to Jonas. That Renault ends basically in no man's land in this race. Frunky is 23 seconds off, so the podium places at the moment look pretty locked in, but obviously these drivers might feel pit stops. Tejona shouldn't need to pit stop again. He's only been on those softs for 6 laps, so it shouldn't be a problem for the Mercedes to get to the end. You would imagine that Siege and Sinclair should be able to get to the end as well, but they will be struggling for tyre wear come the end of the race. Of course, they've been on them for 12 laps now. We've still got about another 12 to go, so it's a long old stint that we're asking of those soft tyres there up in the leading area. Sinclair could pit, come out in second place, and fresh set of tyres, probably with the speed he's got, get through. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to get enough of a gap so he can pit again, put a set of fresh tyres on, rather than taking the chance of maybe a late race puncture. We will soon wait and see. As Ange gets the 5-second stop goal penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white line. And it's funny how Mays didn't get one, to be perfectly honest, but maybe it was just our angle and there was a bit of lag on it, who knows. Maximus though, fresh set of ultras right onto the back of Charlie in the Toro Rosso. He's going to have DRS here, a much better exit by the looks of it. Is he going to try and launch one up the inside into turn 1? It would be a brave man to do that from that far back. He doesn't do so. He needs to follow through and take his chance down Raffles Boulevard. You can see the game makes it look like he is all over the place. He probably is to some description. He's going to chuck it up the inside there before turn 5, before the boulevard, and he's got the move done and DRS to help him. He can see 8th place just ahead of him in Badger. He's got the move done. We'll just come back there and see. Yeah, easily done. Charlie's nothing to fight him with, and Alan Kay is just slowly dropping off the back of Frankie at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep up. He's got the fresher tyres as well, 4-lap fresher soft tyres, so he could maybe find a bit of speed, but the Haas looking good at the moment for 4th place. Here is your leader, serenely on his way on lap 20 of 31, so 12 to go if you include the one they're on as well, as he heads out at turn 9 towards turn 10 at the Singapore Sling, through 11 and 12 and over the Anderson Bridge. Looking good at the moment. Maximus has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And he's right onto the back of Badger's McLaren at this point in time. You've got to think it's not going to be long before he does. Recon picking up the A logo fastest lap at the race at the moment with a 38.6. We'll see if that gets better before the end of the race. Alan Kay has closed back up to the back of Frankie, but Maximus is right onto the back of Badger Gaming with Stanners there saying, can I join? If you're interested, go on to Twitter at TTFL _F1 and you'll find all the details there. As Recon, the Dutchman, throws it up the inside into turn 7, DRS assisted there, and he's got the move done, and Maximus does the same out of turn 5 through the kinky turn 6. Don't see Badger being able to launch one up the inside here, and that is the Haas through as well. So a couple of place changes there, very quick succession, and we could see another one now as Alan Kay closes into the back of Frankie one more time over the Anderson Bridge. Your leader is 20 seconds clear at the front, and he's currently on for a 4-peat here in TTFL. And that is Sinclair. He's got the championship leader Siege is behind him in second though, and Alan Kay up the inside, and he gets that move done. And look, Recon's right onto the back of these guys already, so Recon's going to go and try and go up the inside here. They're going to lock wheels somehow, avoid it. Nice little switch back there from the Red Bull though, and he's going to get the move done into turn 18 there. So Frankie going backwards quickly. He's now got the Renault Maze to deal with as well, who is right on the back with a fresh set of Ultra Softs to go with it as well. You think Recon's going to be past Alan Kay very quickly with those fresh tyres. We'll keep an eye on both of them. Recon gets a time penalty for that, pushing on Alan Kay a little bit. The Irishman will not be happy with that, but Recon pulls in front, takes the break in the racing line into the braking zone, and he is through. So now we concentrate on what happens between Maze and Frankie. Frankie will get DRS off the back of Alan Kay, so that's going to help him to defend. But will he be able to keep the Renault behind him will be the question. We jump on board with the Renault of Maze coming down towards turn 7. You can see the DRS is just keeping them all out the way, although Maze really good in the brakes there. Whoa, Maximus, Frankie there getting a massive tail slapper coming out of turn 7, and that has allowed Maze to sneak through on his fresher tyres, having just pitted a couple of laps ago, 3 laps ago. He's done the pit stop, Ultra Sauce. He is through and up into 6th place. His next target is that man, the Ferrari of Alan Kay, but he's got to defend from Frankie first of all, who's going to try his best over the Anderson Bridge to stick with the Renault here and try and see if he can steal 6th place back from him. But it's going to be a bit of a tricky task with the Renault on fresher tyres. Looks to the inside, decides better off it at the last second, and that's going to allow Mays now the chance to just pull away as Frankie got a bit, again, tail happy at the rear, and that is going to get Mays the chance to go and chase after Alan Kay's Ferrari now to try and see if he can take back 5th place at the moment. But I need to look through the board, so we're going to go through everybody real quickly. Here is your leader, Sinclair. 22 seconds clear at the moment. He's not got the fastest lap of the race, that is Recon at the moment, but he pitted for fresh tyres to get that. And if you look at the fastest laps, apart from Recon's 38, Sinclair's the only other driver to break 1 minute 40. He's had some phenomenal pace, an incredible pole position lap time, 2 seconds clear of anyone else on the Hypersofts, and he's looking good for a 4-peat. And if my maths is right, this would put him into the championship lead, albeit on countback of victories. We think Siege finishing in 2nd place. Siege will get 18 points obviously for finishing in 2nd. That'll put him on to 118. Sinclair currently on 93, so that would then put him... I'm trying to do mental maths, that's not a good thing. In fact, no, sorry, he'll be about a point off actually. 30, we've got a yellow flag 62. Yeah, so he won't quite take the lead actually. Not quite enough, but he'll be a lot closer indeed as Mays sneaks by through the Singapore sling section. Got that move done. Frankie's been passed by Maximus coming back through on his fresh tyres as well. Oh, and into the wall goes Frankie, and well, that's been on the cards quite a bit of this race. Oh, trying to stay out of the way. McLaren's thankfully able to get through. Frankie's been hit the wall a few times. He's now got no front wing, and well, Singapore comes back to bite. The sling might not be there anymore, but the corner still has a bit of venom in it. And that Haas, minus its front wing, going to stay out of the way of the Sauber, which is your race leader actually, going through to lap. So the race leader's now lapped up to 9th in this race. So, but mistake there from Frankie, and that's no good. Fate Benfica's back into pit lane and out again. That is the 4th stop for the McLaren. You can see 3 stops for P. Ange. Plaster and Charlie on 2, along with Maximus, Mays and Recon. Everyone else has done 1, but 4 stops for McLaren. Not a good race for Fate Benfica. And he's currently running at the back of the field, but he's now on fresh tyres, and you can see the Mercedes of Ange up ahead. That is 12th place that he can see, so that's the next target for him. Lap 24 of 31. It has been a long race, this one. Sure, it's been a tough one for the drivers as well. And as we come into the final stages, if you've been watching along, who do you think's your driver of the day? As Frankie makes it back to pit lane. An expensive night for the Haas mechanics. I'm sure that's the 2nd time they've had to change the front wing, and you can see a set of Ultrasource going onto that car as well. Quite a lot of carbon fibre has been strewn around the Marina Bay circuit. And Fate Benfica on to the back of Ange will give everybody a wee bit of a chance and a look here, obviously trying to cover everybody in the field. Your DNFs, Old Man Barry, Bishy, Uzi and George Roberts are your retirees, as Fate Benfica going to go up the inside into the left-hander at turn 18 and 19, but unable to do anything with it. Meanwhile, Plaster has got a fresh set of tyres, a Frankie and DRS to contend with down Raffles Boulevard through the kink of turn number 6. The Haas is on the inside line, and later on the brakes with fresher tyres is going to take the place. Gives them plenty of room there, but Plaster running a bit wide just to keep it. And Fate Benfica into turn number 1 has done the exact same thing with DRS on Ange. A little bit of a bump there from the Mercedes onto the McLaren as they go through, and Plaster's actually sneaked through Frankie again. Must be getting a lot more tank slappers going on, because that won't be the first time that that's happened during a race, and that allows to sneak through and through there. Plaster having to defend with all he's worth. This is the final points paying position, and a run out on those fresh tyres there from Frankie's Haas. Can he get the move done though? He's got the outside line here for this corner. The Ferrari's going to take the end. Oh, nearly contact there. So he comes across, but the move is done, and they both live to fight another day, and Frankie is back into the championship points. Meanwhile, Sinclair, and we get a yellow flag actually somewhere in Sector 2. We'll see if we can pick up on where that might be. It's disappeared now, so nothing to worry about. That's Ange about to be lapped there by Alan Kay. In fact, probably what it was would be the Mercedes staying out of the way. Maybe got a feeling he's got some damage, possibly, just leaving the car a little bit. Sinclair in the lead, he's about to lap 8th place. That is Badger in the McLaren, and he's about to put a lap on him, and it's been a pretty dominant race. I mean, if you have a look there, only the top 3 are within a minute of the race leader. 25 seconds over second place, 50 seconds over third, and then everyone else is over a minute behind, and he's now lapped everybody up to 7th place Maximus. So that is a heck of a drive from Sinclair as he heads on his merry way at the moment towards 4 in a row. This man hasn't really done much wrong either. We've not seen too much of him during this race. From Siege, championship leader, of course. He's had one victory this season, which was in China, the second race of the season, but it's been the consistency from the Renault driver that's put him into the lead of the championship. Always there or thereabout in the podium places, and just nobody's had an answer for Sinclair's pace here this evening. Badger heads to pit lane, so that puts Charlie up into 8th place. But second place is still picking up some solid points, and that will obviously extend the lead for Renault in the Constructors' Championship as well, because Mays is in 5th place. Tejonas here has had a pretty decent race from the Mercedes. Gained 3 places from where he started, done the longer stint on the Ultrasoft, stayed there as long as he possibly could, and he has came through the field very nicely indeed, as Frunky picks up the A-Logo Fastest Lap of the Race award at the moment on a 37.9. But it's been a good race from the Mercedes driver, and he is going to pick up a podium here this evening if he finishes where he is at the moment. Recon, well, P4 is going to be a decent result from the Red Bull driver, to be perfectly honest. He's had to make 2 pit stops, and one of them was an earlier than normal stop because he had no wing, if I remember correctly. So it's been a tricky race for the Dutchman, but made a mistake trying to pass Mays across the Anderson Bridge into turn number 12, but he's recovered from that incident and came back through the field very nicely indeed. So he's going to pick up some decent points at the moment, gained 4 places from where he started as well. Mays in 5th place. He's lost 2 places from his starting position, started in 3rd, having qualified on the Hypersoft tyres, but doing a good job for the French manufacturer Renault in the constructors. His points along with Siege's will keep them very close. Maximus and Alan Kay though having a fight down towards turn 7. The Haas has got the outside line with the DRS, kind of getting the move done out of turn 7. A little bit of a wheel bang there between the 2 of them, but into turn 8, and the Haas just sneaks along and takes the line. So Maximus now is up into 6th place. He's gained 3 positions from his starting position, and he's another one to have made 2 stops as well, being in amongst it with Alan Kay and his teammate Frunky for most of the race. Solid points if he can finish there. Alan Kay's not done too bad either. He might have lost 3 places from his 4th position starting point, but again he was another one to go from Hypersofts in qualifying. He's then gone on to the softs. He's now done 18 laps on those soft tyres as well, as Frunky, whoa, another moment from the Haas. Just got the tail end of that, just threw it into turn 1 far too fast. He just got past Badger, and he's lost the place there. So we'll carry on where he's managed to avoid any damage this time, at least by the looks of it, so we'll be happy with that one. Alan Kay, decent solid points for the Irishman. It's going to help him in his championship quest as well. He's currently where is he in the championship? Not in the top 10 at the moment, so it's going to certainly give him some good points to try and gain his way towards that. Charlie in 8th, not really seen much of the Toro Rosso. Crashed in pit lane, which meant he's one of the biggest, in fact he is the biggest gainer on the track, 5 places from his starting position, but a crash in pit lane in qualifying meant he dropped right the way down the field, and that didn't help him. So nearly into the wall there though through turn 18 there, so he managed to keep that one out of the wall. But 8th place, 4 points will be picked up for him, and that will help him because at the moment he's tied for 10th with Plaster on 21. Plaster's currently outside the points behind him, so that's going to put him ahead of Plaster in that championship battle. 9th place is TTG Badger, only up the 1 place there from McLaren. Another driver that's done 2 stops in this race. Not seen too much of him during the race, been quite quiet. He's recently just pitted again as well. He's on hypers at the moment, so maybe lining it up to try and go for that A-Logo fastest lap of the race award possibly. We'll keep an eye and see what he does in the next lap or two. Frankie coming back into pit lane, so he's obviously damaged the car again, and this is his 3rd stop of the race. Yellow flag somewhere in sector 1, it's disappeared now. Well, it's a 3rd stop now for Frankie. Another front wing by the looks of it. We'll just wait and see. Yes, indeed, they got another one ready for him, so I think that's at least a 2nd, if not a 3rd wing, and he's putting on a set of hyper soft tyres to go with it as well. It's been a very so-so race from the Haas driver. Seen him spinning a few times, they clipping the wall a number of times as well, and he needs to calm down a little bit because it's not done him any favours at all. He's now down to 11th place. It promotes Plaster up into the final points paying position in 10th. The Ferrari driver has made 5 places from starting down in 15th, so he'll be happy to come through the field considering that. Obviously helped by the 4 DNFs as well, but it's points at the end of the day if he can keep it for these last couple of laps. We've just been through Frankie there. Benfica in for a 5th pit stop now for him. It's been a shocking race for the McLaren. Crashed out in qualifying as well, and not been the greatest race here for the Portuguese driver, but he'll be hoping for more next time out, I am sure. And the last driver on the road is the Mercedes of Ange, who's made 4 stops in this race and just not really had the pace. If we have a look, the fastest lap 41.0 is off the pace, not in comparison to some, but it's not where you want to be, and it's not been the greatest race for the Mercedes driver. We're on lap 29 of 31. Fredo Studio says hi. Hello to you, Fredo. Good to have you along for the end of the race. This man has dominated proceedings. It's going to be, well, he's not going to get the fastest lap of the race unfortunately for him. I'm sure he would have liked that, but in terms of everything else, it was pole position and he's led every lap except during the pit stop phase. It's been serene. 37 seconds clear he is of Siege in 2nd, who's coming up behind the Mercedes of Ange to lap him in a moment. The other Mercedes is in 3rd. Recon in 4th. He's 6.5 seconds down. He's not going to be close enough by the end of the race to do anything. The closest battle at the moment is Maximus, who is zoning in on the back of Mays in the Renault. Now both these guys pitted on the same lap. They're both on ultra soft tyres that are 11 laps old, and the Haas is zoning in onto that Renault and fancies taking 6th place away from Mays. So can Maximus do it? We've seen him struggling earlier on in the season, although he's just picked up a time penalty unfortunately, which will probably help. Mays will probably be informed of that by his race engineer. He doesn't need to fight it too much. I don't think Mays has any penalties, so no real need to fight it if he can stay close enough. But he'll obviously want to try and keep the position on the track because, well, we're all racers, aren't we? We all want to do the best we can, of course. This is the closest battle on the track at the moment as we come up towards the end of lap 30. The race leader is about to start his 31st lap before long. He's on lap 30 at the moment. These guys are still on lap 29 at the moment in time, but the race leader will be starting his final lap of the race. 41 seconds clear. It's been a dominating display from Sinclair out in front. We've not seen too much of him because the battles have been through the field, and Maximus are clipping the wall coming out of turn 17. But imagine to avoid any damage to that Haas. The Haas team had plenty of repairs to do with Frankie, and speaking of Frankie, a 36.7 from the Haas driver down in 11th on the Hypersofts, trying his best to catch up to Plaster for that last championship point before the end of the race. They are a lap down, so they only have one more lap to get that done. We keep an eye on this for the moment as Maximus now trying to stick onto the back of that Renault like glue as they come through the kink of turn 4 into turn number 5 onto Raffles Boulevard. Let's see if he can do anything here. He looks like he's a bit further back, but he's now got Slipstream, he's got DRS. He doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. It would be a a Daniel Ricciardo-esque move to get that one done, and even then that would be asking something of Mays to just get out of the way, which as a racing driver you're never going to do that. So he manages to hold on for the meantime, but Maximus is looking pretty quick at the moment. And you think maybe he'll just get the move done before the end of the race. They're going to have one more lap because the leader has not lapped these guys yet. Their next challenge would have been Alan Kay for lapping, so these guys are going to have one more lap to go as they come down the Esplanade Drive off Sanderson Bridge, down the drive now towards turn 14. You can see Alan Kay in the background there, who's done 22 laps on those soft tyres. The two out front though have done 24 laps on those soft tyres, and they're bound to be crying absolute bloomin' murder at this point in time. But this is your race leader and soon to be victor of the Singapore Grand Prix. We'll just jump here to see if Maximus can do anything at the moment into turn 1, and then we'll jump back and see Sinclair across the line quickly. But it's been a serene performance. Frunky's got that final championship point, and Maximus has got a great run with DRS coming down towards turn number 1 onto the final lap. These guys go. Is he going to go late on the brakes into turn 1? No, he does not. He has to back out of it for the meantime, and Mays picks up a time setting penalty, so that could be something. But Sinclair crosses the line, the fireworks explode, and it is a 4-peat for the Sauber driver. 4 in a row, 4 of the best. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix. A phenomenal result from him. We'll quickly jump to here to see if Maximus can do anything under DRS coming down towards turn number 7 before we see Siege across the line. Has to go to the outside line there. Mays has got the inside line, and he's going to try and switch back. Nothing he can do there. Siege coming through the final section just now, through 16 and 17. He's not done anything wrong during this race, says Siege. It's just Sinclair's been so blisteringly quick, and he's going to finish 48 seconds behind the leader. Charlie's crossed the line in 8th place. Fate Benfica's crossed the line in 12th already as well. Laps down on the field, but Siege crossing the line in 2nd. He should, I believe, hold on to the championship lead, but it will be a lot smaller gap now between him and Sinclair. 2nd place for Siege, as Tejonas, who had a good race for the Mercedes driver, he's going to come across the line to take 3rd place. Podium for the Mercedes. Recon was starting to reel him in, but the laps have ran out, and the Mercedes will take 3rd place unless there's any penalties to put in. Recon will take 4th, and we come back here to Mays and Maximus. Now, I know they've got at least 3 seconds worth of penalties, so we'll look to see. Frunky has crossed the line with a 5-second stop go penalty, so Plaster will take the final point in 10th. Badger's finished in 9th as well. Mays across the line. Where is Maximus gone? Oh, he's dropped back. Alan Kay's going to sneak through at the last point and steal 6th place. And Maximus has ran it out of fuel, so that's what's happened. Maximus there ran out of fuel in the last couple of corners. He's going to finish 7th. Alan Kay's picked up an absolute gift of a 6th place there, thanks to the Haas driver making that error. But the Singapore Grand Prix finishes with a 4-time winner. The Soul Tyre proudly displayed up on the podium. That makes my heart swell with joy, because I'm a Scotsman as well, obviously. It's a 4th victory of the season and a 4th victory in a row for Sinclair. The champagne flows on the podium. Good race from both Siege and Tejonas as well in 2nd and 3rd, but no one had an answer for Sinclair today. Pole position and the race victory, and he wins the Singapore Grand Prix and really tightens up the championship battle. There is your standings. So Sinclair wins with Siege in 2nd, Tejonas in 3rd. The top 3, no penalties at all in this race, so well done on them. Recon in 4th with Mays in 5th, Alan Kay 6th with no penalties either. Maximus in 7th, Charlie finished 8th, a lap down. Badger in 9th, Plaster stole the last point due to penalties in 10th. You see Frunky with 17 seconds worth of penalties, but he did pick up the logo fastest lap, so he does get that for consolation. Fate Benfica in 12th with 5 pit stops, Ange in 13th with 4 pit stops. Old Man Barry dropped out of the race, as did Bishy, Iuzi and George Roberts. George Roberts had no front wing and retired in pit lane, I do know that much. Usually put it in the wall coming out of turn number 5, heading down Raffles Boulevard. Nearly brought out a safety car, but didn't happen. Not too sure what happened to Old Man Barry and to Bishy, unfortunately, but we do know that Bishy was backwards a few times during the race, so maybe just got a bit fed up off that. And that is going to do it for tonight. No driver interviews tonight because well, if I'm being completely honest with you, I am absolutely shattered. It's been one of those days today, so I need to go and get ready for work, unfortunately. Malk should be back with you guys next week to take you through what would be, I believe, what race is it next week? Hold on, let me find out quickly for you, because I can't remember the calendar. Where are we? There we go. So it's Japan next week from Suzuka, so that'll be a good one. So you should have Malk back for that. That'll be 8 o'clock as always. Tomorrow night, Project Cars 2 Season 1 comes to a close. The season's finished with the Formula C League. Crusher Bro was the champion. Tomorrow night we're going to have the season-ending BMW M1 Pro Cup. Now it's not going to be me in the box for that. It's going to be Nexus Jack who takes over proceedings for that, because yours truly is getting behind the wheel of that 450 horsepower supercar to go and have a bit of fun. So join us for that, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Jack will also be in the box on Sunday night as well, along with Nexus Cats for TTL F2. 225% races coming to I believe it's going to be from Italy and also from Singapore, but I'm not 100% on that because we did have some PSN issues with TTL on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, Kieran McGinley will be back with the Singapore Grand Prix for TTL F1. I will be back here on Thursday night commentating on TTL F1 with the Russian Grand Prix, I believe it's it. No, Japanese Grand Prix, sorry. I'll be back for the Japanese Grand Prix the following night, so that'll be interesting on Thursday, and that is your lineup going forward. Thank you very much to everyone that joined us here this evening. I do hope you've enjoyed a frantic race here at Singapore. My name is Andy Campbell, and until next time, take care of yourself. See you again soon, and don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe to TTTV as well. Until next time, see you soon. Ta-da.